Greetings, family, and welcome to another edition of Black Talk Radio, where black media matters and black life definitely matters. Today is Saturday, July 21st, 2018. This video is of the Department of Homeland Security Chief Kirstjen Nielsen, who won't denounce white supremacists charged with the Charlottesville killing. You recall last year when they had the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, where a white supremacist ran his car over human beings, killing a young white woman. And our Department of Homeland Security chief won't even denounce this creature who carried out that terrorist act. But Homeland Security Secretary Kirstjen Nielsen refused to denounce a white supremacist who was charged with murdering a woman during protests in Charlottesville, Virginia. Nielsen was speaking to the Aspen Institute on Thursday when she was asked about Trump's contention that, quote, both sides were to blame for the violence at a neo-Nazi rally last year. Before I continue, let me just roll my tongue over those words one more time. Trump's contention that both sides were to blame for the violence at a neo-Nazi rally last year. Yeah, I wanted to repeat that to show how the hypocrisy with white America, with your violence and how you try to describe things and how you try to deflect and run from your own reality and your own truth. Okay? Trump says that both sides were to blame for the violence. Well, first of all, we're talking about violence at a neo-Nazi rally. At a neo-Nazi rally where Trump turns around and tells the American people these were some very fine people on both sides. That's the type of white supremacist we get from the top down, from our president. And then you have people saying, oh, he's not racist. Really? You could have fooled me, because he seems to feel like the violence that is at a neo-Nazi rally, he calls these people very fine people. So I'm confused. Am I in a country, in my own country, where my ancestors built, but white people are running it? Am I to believe that the man who is running it, that sits in the so-called White House, he's trying to tell me that people who are causing violence at a neo-Nazi rally of all things, that these are very fine people? This is the type of shit black Americans have always had to deal with. Even when our ancestors built our country, we've had to deal with people who look like you ruin it for everyone except for yourselves. And even then, you are doing a really bang-up job of that. That's right, you're doing a bang-up job of that. But I digress. Nielsen, she continues by saying, quote, I think what's important about that conversation is it's not that one side is right and one side is wrong, unquote. Nielsen said about the incident that left 32-year-old Heather Heyer dead and several others injured. So you see, even the Department of Homeland Security, the secretary here, even she's going along with Trump's contention that these are very fine people who go to neo-Nazi rallies and cause violence. They're very fine people. But in the meantime, we're going to scorn black people and make them look like they're the ones. Quote, anybody that is advocating violence, we need to work to mitigate. That's what she says. White power groups were protesting the removal of Confederate statues on October 12, 2017, when James Fields Jr. drove his car into a group of counter-protesters. Days after the killing, President Trump blamed both sides for the violence. Trump also said there were, quote, very fine people on both sides. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. We have to deal with people in the White House from the top down who says white violence is just fine. As a matter of fact, a neo-Nazi rally is fine too. We're not going to denounce it. Now, I'm going to choose to switch gears for a quick second and then come back to my point here. What's funny is during the whole Obama administration, when he was vying for the presidential, for his election, I remember how white media especially were trying to rip Jeremiah Wright. They were trying to rip him up to shreds. And actually, they kind of tarnished his reputation, as a matter of fact. They made Obama, the slave, denounce him. You guys did all of that and then turn around and want us to accept that people that go to neo-Nazi rallies are, quote, very fine people. And we should just work to mitigate any violence that they might bring out. You know, you really should have this attitude with black violence too. Maybe we wouldn't have so many black people caged up in your cages, what you call prisons. But oh yeah, that's right, you need a slave system. You need black people to work as slaves for you. You know, when I do these videos, it just really makes me see white America for what you are. And that's why I get kind of heated when I hear white people try to turn around and ask black people, don't you have white friends? Don't you like white people? Don't you this and that and all this bullshit? Because let me tell you, the white friends that we do have, they don't fight against any of this on our behalf. They just simply don't. They keep their mouths shut and they just worry about their white lily lives and how well they have it. And they're able to brag that, hey, I have black friends. How nice. But we're going to switch gears and go to another video. We're going to go to the Crybaby Nazi. Well, family, you guys remember this guy? He, as a matter of fact, he looks like he's about to cry here with his upside down smile. White people who don't have lips, they tend to be able to do that facial expression quite well. I can't do that, not with having natural lips on my face. So it's hard for me to turn my mouth upside down like that, but it's really not it's not pleasing to the eye. Let me just say that. But anyways, this guy is who they termed Crybaby Nazi. Yeah, he's the one that cried when they were about to arrest him last year. But let's go into the story further. So a white nationalist protester featured in the Vice News documentary about the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia last year has pleaded guilty to 2 counts of assault and battery. Christopher Cantwell, pictured here, 37 years old white male, was arrested after the rally and charged with illegal use of tear gas and malicious bodily injury by means of a caustic substance or agent after using pepper spray during the rally at the University of Virginia. The Albemarle County Commonwealth's Attorney Office. Interesting, my screen just flipped on me. My apology. The Albemarle County Commonwealth Attorney's Office said in a statement Friday that Cantwell was sentenced to 2 concurrent terms of 12 months with all but 7 months suspended. according to the Washington Post. He was also ordered to leave the state of Virginia within 8 hours and is banned from returning for 5 years. Additionally, Cantwell was fined $250 for discussing his victims on social media, a violation of his bond. Cantwell was profiled in a Vice News documentary about the rally and was also known as the, quote, crying Nazi, unquote, after a video of him crying about the possibility of being arrested went viral. He turned himself in to the police after arrest warrants were issued for his arrest. The August 2017 rally saw white supremacists and counter-protesters clash violently over the proposed removal of a statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee. One woman was killed when a driver plowed into a group of counter-protesters. The 21-year-old man accused of driving the car has been charged with 30 counts of federal hate crimes. And I just covered that a few minutes ago under the Department of Homeland Security, Kirstjen Nielsen. Nonetheless, this again is an example of the hypocrisy of white America, white violence, and exactly how they carry it out and how they try to cover it up. Anyways, this is Guru at Black Talk Radio, where black media matters, exposing the hypocrisy of even the Department of Homeland Security Chief, Kirstjen Nielsen, as she has a hard time denouncing white supremacists. I have a problem with that. We should know what direction this White House is going. Without further ado, I'm going to end this video. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Peace out.